Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing that the ache of disconnection you've been carrying is not a flaw in you, but a message from life itself. You feel far from people, from purpose, and even from your own soul, like a radio picking up static instead of music. Ibn Arabi, the great Sufi master, would say that the static is real only as long as you're tuned to the wrong station. The music never stopped. It is playing right now, in your heart, in the sky, in the breath, in your lungs. The real reason you feel disconnected is not because you don't belong here, but because you haven't learned to see what this world truly is, a mirror. And when you learn to look into the mirror, the world looks back with love. We often think disconnection is caused by external chaos, social media noise, shallow conversations, the rush to nowhere. But Ibn Arabi points to a subtler root, forgetfulness of who we are and what reality is. He teaches that the unity of being is not a slogan, but an unveiling and interior knowledge that dissolves alienation. You are not a stranger in a foreign land. You are a wave that has mistaken itself for a separate ocean. The Quran whispers this intimacy with startling clarity. We are closer to you than your jugular vein, Quran 52:16. The closeness is not approaching from the outside. It is the nearness already shining within your awareness, veiled by inattention. Who was Ibn Arabi to speak like this? Born in 12th century Andalusia, he traveled across North Africa and the Middle East, composing oceans of insight in works like the Meccan Openings, Al-Futuhat, Al-Maqua, and the Bezels of Wisdom, Fusus al-Hikam. He did not argue for God as a distant concept. He invited us to witness reality as a living presence, in which the so-called self and world are facets of one radiant truth. He used the image of the mirror. The real al-Haq is the light that appears in every form, never confined by them, never absent from them. The forms come and go, but the light that makes them seen is constant. Disconnection arises when we grasp the forms and forget the light. Consider the story of Moses approaching the mysterious fire on Mount Sinai, drawn by a light he could not understand, a sign that burned but did not burn out. Ibn Arabi would say, every heart has a Sinai, every life has a bush that ignites without consuming. When you are pulled by wonder toward something unnamable, beauty in music, joy in service, a sudden clarity in solitude that is the summons, we feel disconnected when we ignore the summons, trying to solve our deepest hunger with surface distractions. The prophetic path invites us to turn aside, as Moses did, to look again, because revelation often shines where we least expect it. Another way to say it, the sense of being exiled from life is a misperception of where the face is. Ibn Arabi encourages us to recognize the divine reflection in every direction. If the heart is narrow, life feels narrow. If the heart widens, the world widens with it. Wherever you turn, there is the face of God, Quran 2:115. This is not a poetic exaggeration, it is a training of perception. The heart learns to see through rather than merely at when your gaze becomes transparent. The ordinary reveals itself as extraordinary, a cup of water as mercy, a friend's text as providence, a challenge as a tutor in disguise. Disconnection loosens when meaning returns to the daily. Ibn Arabi is famous for exploring the realm of imagination, khayal, not as fantasy, but as the organ of spiritual perception. He writes in the Futuhat that the cosmos is like an imaginal sea, where forms rise and fall like waves, and the real is the depth bearing them all. We suffer when we mistake our mental pictures for reality itself, the picture of who we must be, the picture of what success should look like, the picture of a world that owes us certainty. The imagination that imprisons can become the imagination that liberates when it is trained by remembrance. The world is not an illusion to flee, but a treasure to interpret, a script written in symbols that ask to be read with the heart. How do we begin reading again? Start with remembrance dhikr, simple, steady turns of the heart toward the one. Ibn Arabi often returns to the prophetic wisdom echoed in Sufi circles. He who knows himself knows his Lord. He comments in the Futuhat that self-knowledge is not ego analysis. It is a seeing through, watching how every breath appears, abides, and returns to its source. Sit with your breath, whisper a name, Al-Rahman, the All. Let your thoughts be like birds that come and go while you remain the sky. Add companionship. Find people who speak about meaning more than gossip. Add service. Give quietly, and watch the heart grow spacious. Disconnection shrinks in the light of presence. You might still ask, where are the signs that this path is real? Ibn Arabi answers, the signs are already speaking in the grammar of your life. The Quran says, we will show them our signs on the horizons and within themselves until it becomes clear to them that it is the truth. Quran 41-53. The horizon is the world, its cycles, coincidences, and the self is your interior, whether your longings, synchronicities, and sudden insights. Abraham once watched star, moon, and sun rise and set, learning that what sets cannot be ultimate. In the same way, we learn from what comes and goes to lean on what stays. The witnessing awareness that knows each experience and is not diminished by any of them. This is why Ibn Arabi's poetry is a remedy for exile. In the Tarjuman al-Ashwaq, interpreter of desires, he writes, my heart has become capable of every form, a pasture for gazelles, a monastery for monks. I follow the religion of love. He is not erasing distinctions. He is pointing beyond cramped identity to the generous heart that recognizes the real in every sincere quest. The disconnected heart is tight, reactive, brittle. The connected heart is wide, resilient, tender. It can hold paradox and still choose compassion. Practice this today. When you meet someone difficult, silently say, you too are a mirror. Notice what softens. Notice what opens. If the world is a mirror, what does it reflect? Ibn Arabi would say, the names, the qualities of the real seeking manifestation. Mercy seeks a place to be merciful. Wisdom seeks a place to be wise. Beauty seeks a face to be beautiful through. Your life is that place. Your fear is not a verdict. It is an invitation for courage to arrive. Your confusion is not failure. It is an opening where guidance can enter. The prophets, in the Fushas al-Hikam, are teachers of these names. Noah teaches steadfastness. Joseph teaches beauty. Muhammad, peace be upon him, gathers the complete mercy of synthesis. Their stories are not distant tales. They are patterns of the heart, repeating now. So, if disconnection is a fog, what clears it? Presence, remembrance, service, and seeing. Presence bring the mind back to the breath, the senses, the moment. Remembrance, let your tongue and heart turn the names. Service, make your hands medicine for someone else's ache. Seeing, train the imagination to read life symbolically, not cynically. Ibn Arabi insists that the real is not elsewhere. The elsewhere is a distraction. The forms are many, he teaches, but the spirit is one. A principle threaded throughout the Futuhat and the Futsis. The more you live from the heart of unity, the less you feel like a stranger, and the more you become a sanctuary for others. We are just beginning. In the next part, we will map the anatomy of disconnection through three veils. Ibn Arabi helps us name the veil of habit, the veil of fear, and the veil of fragmentation, and we will practice lifting each one. If disconnection is a fog, then let's name the shapes moving inside it. Ibn Arabi helps us see three veils that keep the heart from recognizing the world as a mirror: the veil of habit, the veil of fear, and the veil of fragmentation. Each veil is woven from threads of perception, and each can be gently lifted. He writes of Tajalli, the divine self-disclosure, as a constant unveiling, and he warns us against sleeping through it. There is no repetition in self-disclosure. He famously states in the Futuhat al-Makkiyah, meaning the real never shows up twice in exactly the same way. When we live on autopilot, we flatten life into loops and miss the fresh arrival of meaning. Our work is not to invent connection, but to remove what dulls our seeing. The veil of habit begins as a kindness routines that save energy, then hardens into numbness. We scroll while eating, speak without listening, and move through rooms without noticing the light. Ibn Arabi describes the renewal of creation at each instant in the future heart, urging us to witness the newness appearing right now. The Quran gestures to the same rhythm. Every day he is upon some affair. Quran 55-29. When you assume you've seen this moment before, you step out of the river and stare at a photograph. The remedy is small and steady. Let a familiar action become a doorway. When you drink water, pause long enough to feel gratitude. When you greet someone, truly meet their eyes. These are not cliches, they are surgical cuts through the veil of habit. To lift this veil, practice deliberate novelty, not for excitement, but for presence. Walk a different street and listen for the city's subtler music. Sit in silence for 3 minutes before speaking in a meeting. Change the hand you use to open the door, only so your body remembers to pay attention. Ibn Arabi's dictum, La tikrar fi tatahayy. No repetition and divine self-disclosure becomes a living instruction. If reality is never repeating, then your attention must be alive to meet it. He also writes that the whole cosmos is imagination, al-kon, kuluhu, khayal, which does not mean it is unreal, but that it is a living, symbolic display. Habits that dull imagination harden the heart. Habits that bow to the moment quicken it. Make reverence your routine. The second veil is fear, especially subtle fear that rides beneath ambition and courtesy. Fear of loss, fear of judgment, fear of not being enough. Ibn Arabi treats fear not as an enemy to be crushed, but as a signpost pointing to a name seeking to appear. If fear is tightness, the waiting name might be Al-Wasi, the expensive. If it is confusion, perhaps Al-Hadi, the guide. Consider Hajar in the desert, running between the hills of Safa and Marwa, as her child cried, movement born of trust rather than panic. The tradition remembers that her trust opened the spring of Zen. Fear contracts into tunnels, trust opens into horizon. The Sufi path does not deny the body's tremble. It invites the heart to become a wider room for it. Jonah's story shows this alchemy. Swallowed by what he fled, he discovered a deeper nearness in the belly of night. When he called out, "There is no God but you, glory be to you. Indeed, I was among the wrongdoers." Quran 21-87. The confession was not despair, it was alignment. Ibn Arabi, in the Fushas al-Hikam, reads the prophets as mirrors of specific wisdoms. Jonah's wisdom is the wisdom of return from constriction to spaciousness. Your own wail might be a mistake, a conflict, a diagnosis. The inner movement is the same. Turn from self-sufficiency toward the source, and the tight place becomes a womb for a new birth. Fear then becomes a messenger that escorted you to a door it could not open. To unlearn fear, practice naming the name that meets the moment. When a difficult conversation approaches, whisper Al-Latif, the subtle, and let your tone soften. When a deadline towers over you, call on Al-Qadir, the all-powerful, and feel your spine lengthen. Ibn Arabi emphasizes that love is the governing climate of the path. I follow the religion of love, he sings in the Tarjuman al-Ashwaq, not as sentiment, but as perception that recognizes the real, seeking expression through every encounter. Act while surrendered. Make the phone call, set the boundary, send the email, but do it from a heart that knows it is carried. The paradox is practical. The more you trust, the more flexible and skillful you become. Fear trains you until trust hires you. The third veil is fragmentation, the feeling that life is a junk drawer of roles and pressures with no thread to tie them. You are one person at work, another at home, and a stranger to yourself at night. Ibn Arabi's doctrine of the unity of being Wadat al-Wujud does not erase difference. It reveals the one light playing as many colors. He teaches that each of us is a locus of manifestation, mazar for particular divine names. When you understand which names are seeking expression through you, compassion, justice, beauty, Patience your roles, stop competing and start harmonizing. Moses travels with Kidda to learn that beneath apparent contradiction, there is a hidden choreography. Fragmentation loosens when you trust that your days are being woven. Joseph's story is a textbook in this weaving, a dream of stars, a betrayal, a well, a prison, and finally a throne from which he forgives. What looked like shattered scenes became facets of one jewel. When Joseph says, "No blame will there be upon you today," Quran 12-92, he is speaking from the heart's wide view, where fragmentation is resolved into meaning. Ibn Arabi calls the prophets bezels of wisdom in the fusus al-hikam settings that let the gem of a name shine. Joseph is the bezel of beauty and reconciliation. In your life, the well might be a season of obscurity, the prison a constraint you didn't choose, the throne a stewardship you receive later. If you read your story with the heart, the scattered pieces begin to rhyme. How do we practice integration? Begin the day with a single luminous intention. Today I will manifest beauty through honesty, or today I will manifest mercy through listening. At midday, pause for 2 minutes and ask, which name has been speaking through my actions? If you notice harshness, pivot to Al-Halim, the forbearing. In the evening, make a brief inventory, not a trial, but a translation. What did this day mean? Ibn Arabi teaches that meanings are sovereign over forms, and that forms serve meanings. He writes in the Futuhat that the servant becomes the locus where the Lord appears, and the Lord is known through the servant's qualities. This is not grandiosity, it is responsibility. When you live as a mazar, the scattered rooms of your life share one light source. All three veils can be approached together. Habit is softened by attentive ritual. Fear is eased by trustful action. Fragmentation is healed by meaning. Try a week-long experiment. Day 1. Walk more slowly and rename 3 ordinary things as signs. Day 2. Do 1 brave act as an offering, even if small. Day 3. Choose a name in the morning and let it be your mentor. Day 4. Serve anonymously and notice the heart's broadened weather. Day 5. Journal your day as if it were a dream sent to be interpreted. Day 6. Sit with one discomfort without fixing it and ask which name wants to appear. Day 7. Rest as witness. Let experience move while you remain the clear sky. This is not a to-do list. It is training your sight to see the mirror. If doubt arises, am I just pretending meaning into randomness? Remember Ibn Arabi's counsel. The cosmos is imagination, and you are invited to become its lucid dreamer. Lucidity does not deny form. It reads form as text. The world as mirror is not a metaphor to flatter you. It is a responsibility to refine you. The more you polish perception, the more accurate your compassion, judgment, and creativity become. And if you slip back into habit, fear, or fragmentation, take that as the next lesson. There is no failure here, only curriculum. There is no repetition in self-disclosure, so each return is a fresh opening. The point is not perfection, but intimacy, being close enough to hear what life is saying through you. Before we continue, I'd love to hear your voice. In one sentence, what do you think is the real reason people feel disconnected from the world today? Share your thought in the comments so we can learn from each other. What if the very places you feel most disconnected are the exact doors meant to reveal who you truly are? Ibn Arabi calls this unveiling the secret of the perfect human, the one who becomes a clear mirror for the real. Disconnection then is not just pain, it is vocation, a summons to refine perception until love and wisdom can flow through you without distortion. He speaks of the paradox, he, not he, pointing to a world that is theophany, God's self-disclosure, yet never identical with God's essence. You are invited to stand in that paradox with humility and wonder. When you do, the ache of separation loosens, not because life gets easier, but because meaning returns to your steps. This is the moment where exile turns into pilgrimage. Let's map a simple arc for this pilgrimage: awareness, love, knowledge, and and service. Awareness awakens you from the trance of habit. Love magnetizes you toward the real. Knowledge clarifies your seeing. Service anchors the realization in life. Ibn Arabi writes in the Fusus al-Hikam that the human being is the locus where the names seek completion, the polished mirror in which the real contemplates his own qualities. This dignity is not self-importance, it is responsibility to become transparent. The Quran honors this trust when it says that God breathed into the human being of his spirit, a reminder that our nobility is borrowed light, not personal manufacture. Quran 15:29. The work is to let that breath move you from disconnection to devotion, from restlessness to resonance. Begin with awareness. In Sufi language, this is muraqabah, watchfulness, soft, steady attention to the movements of your heart. Ibn Arabi describes witnessing mushahada as a seeing that is also being seen. You look at the world with reverence while knowing the real is looking through you. I loved Hadith Qudsi says, "When I love my servant, I become the hearing with which he hears and the sight with which he sees, not to erase you but to tune you." Practice this. For 5 minutes each morning, sit upright, feel the breath enter and leave, and notice the space in which thoughts arise. Do not fight thoughts, greet them and let them pass. Ask gently, what is the name seeking to show itself now? This is awareness as hospitality. Awareness matures when you learn to read life symbolically rather than cynically. Ibn Arabi calls the cosmos Kyle imagination, not as fantasy but as the barzakh, the ismos, where meaning clothes itself in form. You forgot a meeting and then randomly met the person you needed at a cafe. Coincidence or choreography? You were delayed, then avoided an accident you never saw. Bad luck or mercy hiding its hand? Consider Moses' journey with Khidr, where ruptures were lessons in disguise. Ibn Arabi reads this as training in imaginal literacy, the ability to trust that the real's wisdom exceeds your immediate interpretations. The disconnected life is dominated by literalism. The connected life keeps asking, what is this moment a sign of? Next is love. Ibn Arabi's voice turns luminous in the Tarjuman al-Ashwaq. I follow the religion of love. For him, love is the gravity of the spirit, the pull by which the names seek reunion in you. This is not indulgence. It is a rigorous tenderness that dissolves the hardness of the self. Think of Rabia al-Adawiyya walking at night, saying she would burn paradise and drown hell so that people would love God for God alone. In practice, love means you meet the world with curiosity instead of suspicion. You risk gentleness where sarcasm would be easier, and you let beauty educate you. A sunrise, a poem, a child's question. Love is the climate in which fracture heals. Love also reorients your relationships. The Quran says, "O humanity, we created you from male and female, and made you peoples and tribes, that you may know one another." Quran 49-13. Knowing, not conquering. Recognizing, not erasing. Ibn Arabi's doctrine of the names helps here. When you meet someone, ask which names they naturally manifest: courage, patience, justice, joy, and let that recognition soften your judgments. Try this experiment for 1 day. With every person you encounter, silently bless the name you glimpse in them. Your colleague's thoroughness might be the name Al-Hakim, wisdom, showing its care. Your friend's playfulness might be Al-Hatif, the subtle, inviting ease. Love is not blind, it sees more. The third arc is knowledge, refinite information, but tasting dak. Ibn Arabi insists in the Futuhat al-Makkiyah that real knowledge is an unveiling that changes the knower. It arrives as certainty in the heart, not just as ideas in the head. How do you train for tasting? Through muhasabah, gentle accountability. Each evening, spend 3 minutes asking, where was I most alive? Where did I feel the mirror fog? Which name was I resisting? Write 1 sentence as a promise for tomorrow, specific, humble, doable. Over time, patterns appear. You learn your triggers, your medicines, your rhythms. This is the curriculum of intimacy, where your life becomes your teacher. Knowledge without service can become preciousness. Service without knowledge can become burnout. So the fourth arc is service, the natural overflow of love and clarity. Ibn Arabi describes the perfect human as a comprehensive word, who gathers the names and returns them to creation as mercy. That might look like mentoring someone quietly, repairing something broken without applause, or using your craft to make complexity mercifully understandable. Remember, the Prophet is called a mercy to the worlds. To imitate him is to move through rooms, making it easier to breathe. If you feel disconnected, serve someone in a way that costs you a little comfort. Paradoxically, giving away energy becomes the way you receive meaning. Service is ancient hospitality. Abraham's story glows here. The Quran asks, "Has there come to you the story of the honored guests of Abraham? He rushed to feed them before asking who they were, turning strangers into messengers." Quran 51-24. Ibn Arabi reads prophetic hospitality as the heart's native posture toward the real, welcoming the unexpected with respect, because the real often knocks in unfamiliar clothing. Practice this today. Make tea for a coworker, answer a message you've delayed, or offer a sincere apology where there's been distance. Make room and watch how the mirror clears. Hospitality is the ethics of unity lived at the door. All for arcs braid into a way of life. Ibn Arabi advises adab, subtle courtesy, as the vessel that holds states and stations. In plain terms, be on time, keep your word, speak truth without cruelty, and refuse to weaponize your insights. Seek sober, good company, because love and clarity are contagious. Let nature tutor you in patience. Take creative risks that let the names of beauty and majesty flow through your hands, and keep an eye on the imaginal. When a dream or intuition carries a fragrance of truth, humility, coherence on it without letting it tyrannize you. Over months, you will notice a wider sky inside you, and people will feel it before you do. Here's a simple weekly ritual to weave the mirror. One day for silence, one for study, one for service, one for creativity, one for friendship, one for nature, one for celebration. Each day, choose a name in the morning and let it mentor your choices. Read a page from the Futuhat or a commentary on the Fuchsias. Then translate an insight into a small act. Keep asking Ibn Arabi's favorite question in practice: what is the real disclosing now? If you fall, begin again where your feet are. The goal is not to perform spirituality, but to become available to it, so that the real can speak a little more clearly through your voice. We're almost ready for the final movement. There, we will gather these threads: awareness, love, knowledge, and service into a living tapestry you can carry into work, family, and solitude. We will explore the perfect human as a daily ethic, touch the mysteries of Fana and Baka, dissolving in love and returning as service, and outline a 40-day path to stabilize connection in a noisy world. Before we continue, if this journey is speaking to you, please subscribe to the channel so these teachings can reach more hearts, and so you don't miss part 4. Here is the turning where exile becomes homecoming. What if the thread you have been chasing has been weaving you all along? Ibn Arabi would say, the mirror is ready. Your ache, your questions, your small fidelities have polished it enough to catch a truer light. The disconnection you feared was a verdict, is revealed as a calling to deeper seeing. You are not asked to escape the world. You are asked to inhabit it as a witness, a lover, a servant. The Sufi path does not make life less real. It makes you more real in meeting it. This is the hour to walk out carrying a lamp lit from the inside, to become the place where meaning takes a face. Let's name the secret movement that completes the arc, dissolving and returning Fana and Baka. Fana is the melting of the hard eye in the fire of love. Baka is the cool river you return with, so others can drink. Ibn Arabi's paradoxy, not he huwa la huwa, especially in the Fuchsias al-Hikam, protects you from both arrogance and denial. You are a theophany, not the essence. The Quran puts it with austere beauty. Everything is perishing except his face. Quran 28-88. In practice, fana is the moment you stop demanding the world conform to your story. Baka is the courage to re-enter the story as mercy. You vanish as the center, and you remain as a conduit. How do you taste this without mystical theatrics? Begin with a quiet vow in ordinary rooms. Today, I relinquish my insistence and embrace reality as it arrives. When irritation spikes, let it be the bell of remembrance. When praise comes, pass it upward like a relay of light. The Prophet's way was this sobriety after ecstasy. He prayed at night until his feet swelled, then spent the day repairing ties, forgiving insults, and feeding neighbors. Ibn Arabi, in the Futuhat al-Makkiyah, insists that true unveiling matures into adab, fine courtesy, precision of heart expressed as precision of behavior. Fana without adab is smoke. Baka with adab is warmth you can share. Consider the perfect human not as a distant saint, but as your blueprint, a clear mirror, humble and brave. Ibn Arabi writes that the perfect human is to the world as the pupil is to the eye, through which the eye sees Futuhat al-Makkiyah. You are invited to become that delicate aperture, small in yourself, vast in what passes through. This is not spiritual self-importance, it is consent to be useful. Your temperament, wounds, talents, and timing form a unique locus of manifestation. What Ibn Arabi calls your fixed essence, al-ain, athibita, through which certain divine names love to appear. When you agree to this trust, your scattered tasks rhyme, and your days acquire a pulse. To stabilize this pulse, walk a 40-day path, simple and tender. Mornings, wake a little earlier, sit facing the dawn if you can, and repeat a name with the breath or Rahman for softening, Al-Hakim for clarity, Al-Nur for illumination. Read a paragraph from the Futuhat, or a commentary on the Fuchsias, not for volume but for taste. Copy one line that stirs your conscience. Midday, pause for 2 minutes. Place a hand on your heart and ask, what is being disclosed now? Evening, a brief muhasabawa, did I polish the mirror? Where did I smudge it? And a small act of repair if needed. Let the light verse whisper its grammar into your life. Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. Quran 24-35. Polish until you can notice that light in a glance, a breath, a task. Each week of the 40 carries a fragrance. Week 1, presence. Walk slower, speak less, eat with awareness, and rejoin your senses to your soul. Week 2, love. Choose generosity over cleverness, forgive quickly, and let beauty tutor you. Week 3, knowledge. Study 1 teaching a day and translate it into an action turn, insight into embodied wisdom. Week 4, service. Choose one person or cause and give time in secret. Let your hands become extensions of compassion. Throughout, keep the company of the sincere. Ibn Arabi praises sober as a vessel for grace. If you cannot find companions nearby, read the lives of the masters Abdul Qadir al-Jilani, Abu Madian, Nafari until their voices keep you honest. Expect resistance. There will be dry days when the tongue is wood and remembrance tastes like dust. There will be days of weather grief, anger, fatigue, when your only prayer is not giving up. Remember Mary in her solitude, laboring under the palm. The tradition honors the holy of hard thresholds. Ibn Arabi counsels patience without drama. When the sea is stormy, lower your sails, keep the keel toward the wave, and ride out the swell. Return to essentials, breath, a single name, a simple service. The aim is not to feel a certain way but to be faithful. In time, even the dryness reveals it was sanding you smooth. Guard the imagination, for it is both door and danger. Ibn Arabi calls the world Kyle Imaginalan, Isthmus, where meanings take on garments. But he also warns against self-serving fantasy. 2 criteria keep you lucid: fruit and form. Fruit means the aftertaste of an impulse. Does it leave clarity, humility, mercy? Form means its alignment with the covenant of the path. No betrayal, no harm, no coercion. When dreams arrive with that calm resonance, welcome them as gentle tutors. When they inflate the self or violate adab, bow and let them pass. The Quran comforts the heart travelers. Verily, the friends of God no fear shall be upon them, nor shall they grieve. Quran 10-62. Friendship with the real looks like steadiness. Now embody the mirror in public. In conflict, become a translator. Paraphrase the other person's concern until they feel seen. Then offer your truth without venom. In work, practice ihsan excellence as worship. Let your craft be prayer stitched into usefulness. In family, make your presence a refuge, not a courtroom. Ibn Arabi's maxim, La Taikra fi Tajali. There is no repetition in divine self-disclosure can be a mantra for creativity. Approach each meeting, email, design, meal as a first time. The more original your attention, the more original your contribution. This is spirituality with sleeves rolled up. As the 40 days unfold, you may notice a quiet change. The world begins to glow at the edges. Coincidences feel like choreography, chores feel like rituals, and even setbacks feel instructive. This is Baka in daily clothes. You do the same tasks with a different soul. Summon courage for one more step. Offer your life back. Say it plainly, as if signing a contract. I consent to be a place where mercy, wisdom, and beauty appear. Use me. Ibn Arabi says the cosmos longs for such consent, for the real to see his names in a clear mirror. When you give it, your loneliness becomes a lighthouse. We've traveled far, from the ache of disconnection to the mirror of unity. From habit, fear, and fragmentation to presence, trust, and meaning. From concepts to a 40-day path. Ibn Arabi's counsel. From the Tarjuman's religion of love to the Futuhat's rigorous courtesy and the Fuchsia's luminous paradox, invites you to live as a lucid, loving human pupil of the world's eye. If this touched you, take the first dawn tomorrow and begin. Then share this video with someone who needs a way back to themselves. Leave a comment with a name you'll carry for the next 40 days, and subscribe so this circle of seekers can grow. May your mirror stay clear, may your steps be steady, and may you discover that the world you thought you'd lost was waiting inside your heart all along.